Hi, people. Thank you very much for tuning in again to Real Life Talk. As I always promise, everything is real. Today, I would like to share with you my story. My story has inspired a lot of people around me. And I feel like it's time to actually share it with you today. As you're listening to me, I discovered who I am very late. Who are you? What are you on earth here for? What is your purpose in life? What can you see? Every morning when you wake up, what do you see? I saw myself where I am sitting today. Many years ago. How it was going to happen, I did not know. All I knew was that something can change. And that change has to start from myself. Well, as you know, my name is Lady C. Viewers listening to me today, I'll tell you a story from when I was 14. It's going to be a series of stories because I cannot tell all my story today. When I was 14, I used to hustle with my mom. I was in school, but because I'm born in a very poor family, very poor area, those of you who understand what we call compound home, I was born in a compound house. You can Google it. A compound house is where you have a big compound with probably maybe 15 rooms. And each room has probably about 4 to 5 people in there as a family. And you have one toilet and one bathroom where everybody shares and is outside. It's about maybe 10 to 15 minutes walk before you get to where the toilet is or the bathroom. And I had that. And then we have what we call community private toilets. Viewers listening to me today, I'm telling you my story so that you can see where you are and where you want to be. Yes, it is true that the enemy can fight our future. But the power of mind is so real. And the battles of mind is so real. When I was growing up as a young girl with my mother and my 2 sisters, my mom is a trader. At my mom's late age, around 40, she decided to go and learn a trade. She was selling in the markets, which I go and help her with my 2 sisters. And we will come back from school and then go straight to the market to help her. We will be in the market till about 9 o'clock before we come back home. And when we come back home in the morning, we come back, we will stay, and then eventually we find something to eat. When we finish eating, then we go to bed. And all that, in the morning, I have to wake up early, about 5 o'clock, to go and sell. We used to sell sponges because when I was growing up in my time in Ghana, I used to have to wake up very early to go and sell so that I can have pocket money for school. So my mom will prepare sponge. We used to have, it's not this time that everybody is using toothpaste. In my time, toothpaste was scarce. Toothpaste were for people who can afford it. So we used to use stick or this sponge. So I used to go and sell the sponge in the morning because that's what everybody used at that time in the area where we live. So I'll go and sell the sponge, come back in an hour's time because I have to be at school by 8 o'clock. So I'll go around to sell 6 o'clock. By 7:30, by 7 o'clock, I have to be back. And sometimes I'll be wearing my school shorts because when I was growing up, we were told to wear shorts under our skirts. So you wear that shorts with your trainers or whatever shoes you are taking to school. You are half dressed going to school, and then you go and sell and come back so that you will have pocket money. When I'm going to school, I'm carrying like a rucksack, a big sack that takes about 20 kilo of anything that you can put in. For instance, maybe oranges, 20 kilos of oranges can fit in that sack. With a knife, I take it to school. And the only reason why I do that is on my way from school, I have to pass the market to pick up the stuff that we sell in the evening. So when I come back from school, I will go and help my mom in the market and then come back home and set up around 7 o'clock, set up groceries. Or I used to sell oranges and bananas on the road before I go to bed. So I used to go to bed probably about 10 o'clock, and then by 5, I'm up. Why am I sharing this story with you today? Where you are coming from, where you are now, tells where you are coming from. And where you are now will tell you where you are going. It is because of all the hardship I went through. I have a lot of people, and I mean it, a lot of people ask me, including men, how are you able to do this, that? People get amazed of my enthusiasm of doing things. Viewers, where you are now is because of where you came from. That's where you are now. And where you are now in life will propel you to where you are going. The hardship I went through actually prepared me and made me who I am today. Sometimes the things we go through break us. Sometimes the saying that what you are going through, if it doesn't break you, it will make you. What I went through actually made me. Thanks to my mom, may her soul rest in peace, that she taught me how to work hard because of where we were. And at the age of 16, when I was still in school, I was repeated in class 2 times. I was repeated when I was in year 6. I stayed in year 6 again. I was repeated again when I finally moved to year 7. I was repeated again in year 7. Why? It's because when I was growing up, it is the environment and where I was born. We did not have all the capacity and all the advantage for people to even detect what is happening with you. Every time I sit down and I remember this story, I said, no, I have a story to tell. I have a story. And my story is that I was dyslexic. I had difficulties in learning. Teachers could not pick that up. I was always being beaten because I can't understand what I'm being taught. I feel like crying because anybody that is listening to this video today, if you are in Africa and you have children who are going to school and they are not getting it, remember that God created all of us. We all have a purpose in life. We have a purpose and we have a vision. Until somebody picked your vision and your purpose, you will be struggling. When I was in school, I get punished by teachers because nothing was going through my head. The teachers were not getting it. But let me tell you the beautiful side of this. I had a talent. I was very talented, very intelligent in different areas. One of my teachers noticed that I'm very good in acting. I was very good in singing. When it comes to vocational stuff, anything you give me to do with my hand, I do it effortless. But when you give me maths, English, science, I have been to classrooms so many times, exams rooms, where I could not write a word. I left school without knowing how to read, without knowing how to write. I could just remember few words in reading and writing because I forced myself to at least know those words. Some of them were like people, food, those basic ones just to get me by. My parents did not realize that I was going through that. Viewers, I feel like it's time for me to tell somebody that what can you see? What does your mind see? What does your heart tell you who you are? It has been a long journey for me. But when my talent was picked by one teacher who said to me, "You are very good in speaking." When we used to have Fridays, every Friday we have to meet the whole school from year 1 to year 3. We used to meet in one room. And by law in the school, they were forced to teach us the Bible. And sometimes when they said who can pray, though my English was not that great, I'm sitting in school. But every time they call somebody to pray, the whole class is quiet. I'll be the one to raise my hands to pray. And when I finish praying, the clapping will not stop. And then when we finish school and everybody is shaking my hand, and it made me feel like, wow, at least I know that when it comes to academic, I don't know anything. But at least there is something that people have picked about me. When it comes to play, acting in the school, we used to do acting in school. I used to be the best actor in the whole school. To a point that other schools started inviting me to come and act in their school, though I wasn't in the school. People, my viewers, I want to tell you that you have something. We are all unique in a special way. We are unique in our own way, in our own different ways. And you know what? Every time I go home, I'm very accurate with figures. How? I don't know. And anything I picked to do goes well. How? I don't know. My mom realized that I'm very good with business. So she entrusted me with her money. When she does her business, she gives it to me and I managed everything for her. And then I realized that I can start my own little business. And I started the business in school when I was in year 6. I started a little business. I used to do sweets. I'll go to the market, buy coconuts, come and peel the coconuts, grade it, liquidize it, and make a sweet out of it. And take it to school to sell. I used to do biscuits, take it to school to sell. Eventually, when I managed to get to the end, at the age of 16, I finished school. After being repeated twice, I still managed to finish school. They just thought, you know what? If they repeat me, they can repeat me 10 times. I will never get it. So they decided to just let me go. And I managed to finish school at the age of 16. And when I finished school, I went straight, because I know I'm not even going to bother myself to go and start doing. And you know what? I remember there was a period where my mom was even trying to pay classes. And when I get to the classes, I fall asleep. It's not for me. And then when I finally finished school, I decided to launch into my business. So I started helping my mom in the market. My mom used to do hair in the market. She used to have a little kiosk, shop that she does her own little stuff in there. So I used to help my mom do clients, and then we selling on the side as well. And then eventually, I started building my own capital. And then I decided to start my own little business. And then I started selling anything that my mom was selling, I was selling similar. And then at that period, something happened. We were thrown out of our house on a rainy day. The landlady used to have 13 children and 23 grandchildren. They said we have not paid rent. They came, kicked us out. Myself, my parents, and my 2 sisters. We were thrown out of the house on a rainy day. The day we were thrown out, I was still a church girl, going to church, doing my normal, usual stuff. That's when I learned how to pray. I said, if there is God, At this point, my parents don't even believe in God. My parents said, come on, if there is God. My own mother said, if there is God. But there was this thing that kept telling me that you will make it. And I remember at the age of 17, I told my dad and my mom that I will be the first person that will get all of us out of poverty. What are you saying to yourself? What is your story? And what are you proclaiming? Be careful of your words. For words are very powerful. What you say is a seed. Be careful. Whatever you tell yourself, whatever you say to yourself, whatever you say around you, be careful. I used to tell my dad, and whenever I tell him, he would look at me and said, you know what? Just go and sit down so I can see what I'm doing. And I used to tell him, Daddy, don't worry. I will get all of us out of poverty. And he used to say, how? I said, I don't know how, but I know it will happen. And it happened 10 times 10. Watch out for the part 2. There's more coming your way. This is real life talk. See you there. Bye for now. God bless.